Hey, what's up? In this video, I wanted to just focus on general language learning activities. I've been watching a lot of videos from a lot of awesome polyglots, such as Moses McCormick, Steve Kaufman, Luca Lampariero, and a couple of others. And some things that I've noticed was that a lot of people have different ways that they go about learning languages. I've noticed that there seems to be certain camps who believe that, or they take a certain speaking first approach to learning languages, and the other camp seems to take a listening approach. Better put, I should say, one camp takes a input approach, meaning listening and reading, and another camp takes an outward approach, which is speaking and writing to learn their foreign languages. Just a bit about me. I actually had to set a challenge for myself to learn Spanish. I started in April of last year, 2016, and right now I've come up to that 1 year mark. And so basically, that was an interesting endeavor. I kind of set an arbitrary goal for myself. I just said I wanted to be fluent in the language, not knowing what fluency really entailed. And so I'm, conversationally fluent, for lack of a better term. But I just wanted to really just speak on the different methods that people go about when they're learning languages. So I remember learning Spanish. I actually focused on using space repetition tools, such as Anki, creating flashcards for certain vocabulary words in Spanish. And I read a pretty interesting book called Fluent Forever, How to Remember Any Language, by an author named Gabriel Wyner, which is a great book. It really opened me up to the ease of language learning, and it dispelled a lot of myths. And so I went about creating a lot of flashcards in Anki. I think I created probably a total of like 500 to 600. And so that was my routine for 2 months. I would go through the flashcards and try to memorize the words and certain phrases. And then after that, since I had essentially built a deck of the 500 or 600 most frequently used words in Spanish, I decided, okay, well, let me see what's up with these language learning apps. So I spent some time in Duolingo. I think I did that for a couple of weeks, and then I landed on an app called HelloTalk. And HelloTalk was the best thing for me, hands down, because that app had so much functionality in it. I mean, you can text people. First of all, you get paired with specific language learners in your target language. So if I want to learn Spanish and another person wants to learn English, the app will automatically recommend people for you to pair up with, based on your levels within those target languages. And then they had a certain functionality, such as texting your language exchange partner in your target language. But they also had another cool ability, which was to correct and to be corrected with the sentences that you're writing in those messages. And so, when you're learning languages, you're gonna make mistakes, but a lot of the missed opportunity comes in regards to not taking the time to review what the mistakes were that you made, and going over them so you can solidify that learning opportunity. So that was one thing I really liked a lot about HelloTalk. Also, they had certain features such as video calls. You could do free video calls through the app. You could also do free phone calls through the app as well. And so when I got on HelloTalk, that was just awesome. It was like a freaking video game for me. I would be messaging so many people on the app, whether they're from Peru, Colombia, or Mexico, and I would be receiving all of these other messages, and I couldn't put the phone down. I literally remember nights where I would days, afternoons, and nights where I would stay up and consistently use HelloTalk for like 4 hours. So that helped a whole lot. And then I want to say another big aspect that helped me was going to the places where native speakers of Spanish are at. So where I'm from, there's a lot of international farmers markets where you find a whole boatload of Spanish speakers. And then, being in the US, there are a lot of Spanish speaking communities. So it's easy to just see a native Spanish speaker, walk up to them and just ask them questions in the target language. Ask them for permission if it's okay to practice with them, and then go on from there. So that really helped me out a lot. And eventually I got to the point where HelloTalk was cool, but I needed to really work on my input processing with Spanish. And so I ended up going towards reading short articles on the internet, and then I would also watch a lot of YouTube videos in Spanish. Even though I didn't understand squat what they could say in those videos or articles, I knew that I had to work on my input comprehension at that time. And so maybe that was around 4 or 5 months, maybe the 6-month mark, where I started to get I started to notice that listening comprehension, the lack of my listening comprehension, and the lack of my reading comprehension. And so I started focusing on that for the remainder of the year challenge. And I eventually stumbled upon Steve Kaufman's great app called Link, and I've been using that ever since to solidify my input comprehensions in the forms of reading and listening, and just trying to get accustomed to that aspect of language literacy, because it's not all about output. It's also a two-way communication when you're speaking with somebody. It's easy to sound really great and to speak fluently, but if you don't understand what's being spoken at to you, you're kind of at a loss. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm at the year mark in Spanish. I feel good. I haven't taken any official tests like a CEFR test or any other official Spanish exams to determine what level I'm at. But based on the interactions that I've had with native speakers here in the US and also speakers in Mexico, I feel that I'm at an intermediate level. I might not know all of the slang and informal terminologies that are used in Mexican Spanish, but I can easily hold a conversation with a native Spanish speaker from Mexico. And I've been to different cities in that country and have held my own. So I think I'm intermediate, and I feel good about that. And let's see what the future holds. Take care.